Greeting in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's a great pleasure to meet you all again. However, the news which we hear about the events happening around the world is not always joyful. We will discuss some important points today. Let's get started. First, the news that has shocked and saddened many is the devastating earthquake that struck Myanmar. It measured 7.7 on the Richter scale, claiming the lives of thousands. Many people are still missing and rescue efforts continue. The impact of this earthquake was also felt in Thailand, where several buildings were demolished. We have been witnessing frequent earthquakes since 2004, ever since the Great Tsunami. These earthquakes occur both under sea and on land. Each time an earthquake strikes, panic spreads, but as time passes, we move on with our lives. Even while filming this episode, an earthquake of approximately 7.0 magnitude struck Tongo Island, another powerful tremor. But if you notice, earthquakes are happening everywhere: Fukushima, Nepal, Iran, and many other places. Whenever these disasters occur, they dominate the news for a few days or weeks, and then we move on. This has become a common pattern in society. I'm not just referring to earthquakes, but to every significant issue that takes place. It becomes breaking news for a short time, then something else happens, and people shift their attention, eventually forgetting about the previous event. If you think about it, all of these are part of the signs of end times. When the disciples asked Jesus about the signs of the end times, he mentioned 7 signs, and one of them was earthquakes. The earthquake in Myanmar has affected countless lives, yet soon we will naturally forget about it when the next big event takes over the headlines. When we started looking into this, we did some research. Over the last 10 years, from 2015 to 2025, approximately 1,49,000 earthquakes have taken place. In this year alone, 2025, around 3,400 earthquakes have already occurred. For those who may not be aware, these numbers account for earthquakes ranging from magnitude of 4.0 to 9.0 on the Richter scale. During this same period, following the earthquake in Thailand, around 334 earthquakes have been recorded. When you think about it, this could be described as a period of earthquakes. In just 3 months, about 3,400 earthquakes have occurred. You all remember that on January 1st of last year, a major earthquake struck. Each year, the frequency of these earthquakes continues to rise. One of the signs Jesus mentioned was earthquakes, and today, a 7.7 magnitude earthquake no longer seems shocking. Between 2023 and 24 alone, earthquakes of this magnitude occurred 19 times within a single year. Think about this. Where do we stand today? These signs are unfolding right before our eyes. Earthquakes which once occurred once in 10 years have now happened approximately 1,52,000 times in the past decade, including 2025. How are we calculating these? We are witnessing them, living through them, yet we fail to recognize them as signs of Christ coming. Just like in the days of Noah, when people ignored the warnings and carried on with their lives, the same is happening now. Please take this to heart. The signs of the end times are not far off. They are happening right at our doorstep. Kindly, everyone, pray for the people of Thailand and especially Myanmar. They are already struggling under military rule, which has made life incredibly difficult. We all know how deeply the youth and young children have been affected by this situation. And now, on top of it all, they are suffering from these devastating earthquakes. Will these earthquakes stop? If you watch the news, you will see reports stating that the Indian tectonic plates are undergoing significant changes, and this will continue in the coming days. Many channels predict that seismic activity will only increase. On one hand, it is our duty to pray for those affected. On the other, we must be prepared for what is to come. God's second coming is near, and these earthquakes serve as a reminder. As we have already mentioned, Israel is yet to experience a major earthquake, as mentioned in Ezekiel 38:19, something that has been foretold. Earthquakes bring great changes, and God has already foreseen how these events will unfold in Israel. Everything is happening before our eyes. So, as I have said before, pray for all these things and be ready. Now, let's move on to the next segment. As we have always seen, what began as an Israel-Palestine conflict has now escalated to another level. It has reached a point where Israel and Turkey are now directly involved. Meanwhile, there have been changes in Syria's military policy and government regulations. Because of these changes, Israel and Turkey have started invading Syria from different directions. The Golan Heights, a region on Israel's border, that is currently under Israeli control. Now, Syria is demanding its return, and Turkey is supporting Syria in this claim. But why are we discussing Turkey's role in this? In the Bible, if you refer to the book of Ezekiel, it is mentioned that Turkey will be involved in these events. In Ezekiel 38 2, the names of Meshech and Tubal appear, and some interpret Tubal as Turkey. However, the majority believe that Togarma, mentioned in Ezekiel 38, verse 5 and 6, represents Turkey. Especially, Togarma is believed to refer to the Armenians, as Armenia shares a border with Turkey. From Armenia, one can even see the Mount Ararat. There has been a long standing border dispute between Armenia and Turkey. Many of the people who speak Turkish today are believed to be the descendants of Togarma. To be more precise, the people of Turkey and Armenia share ancestral ties. According to the prophecy, these people would rise against Israel and align themselves with Russia. As we know, Turkey has historically stood as a rival to Israel. This stems from Turkey's claim that Israel and Jerusalem were under their rule until 1917, when Britain helped them free Israel from Turkish controlling during World War I. This allowed Israel to reclaim its presence in the region. Then in 1967, Jerusalem came fully under Israeli control. Since then, Turkey has continued to push for its own territorial claims in the region. As a result, tensions between Turkey and Israel have intensified, and this conflict is now playing out in Syria. The descendants of Togarma and Israel have begun their struggle once again, while Russia operates behind the scenes. God willing, we will continue to bring updates on this situation soon. Now, let's move on yet to another important news story. Recently, news channels have been reporting something under the term something weird. The details of these reports are both shocking and alarming. According to the news, Iran has recently revealed some of its underground cities stocked with powerful weapons. They not only disclose the existence of these underground facilities, but also showcase the capabilities of these weapons. Within 24 hours of this revelation, US President Trump ordered two of America's most powerful aircraft carriers, Truman and Wilson, to set sail towards the Middle East. But that's not all. At the same time, Iran has mobilized 60,000 of its military forces in the region. As we previously discussed, Iran already has a military presence in the Hormuz region. Now, with these new developments, many are questioning, why is the US sending its military forces and aircraft carriers to this area? Why is Iran amassing a military force of 60,000 in same location? All of this suggests that something major is about to unfold. Meanwhile, all 28 nations of the European Union have made an official announcement to their citizens, not in secrecy, but openly through TV and media, advising them to stock up on essential supplies for 72 hours. The reason given, they claim it could be due to earthquakes, natural disasters, or even a possible military attack or war. So, while Europe is warning its citizens to prepare for 72 hours, Iran is strengthening its military, and at the same time, to be more precise, a friend of ours shared a news article stating that Iran has already kept its missiles in ready-to-launch mode in underground facilities. On the other side, America is also bringing in its armed forces, and reports indicate that Trump is furious. There are even speculations that the US could launch bombings on Iran, potentially triggering a war. Why is Iran important in this context? Iran is none other than Persia, as mentioned in Ezekiel 38:5. Iran is also one of Russia's closest allies. Just as America supports any force opposing Israel, Russia backs Iran in the same way. Furthermore, a news channel has reported that Russia is preparing to start World War III. As we mentioned earlier about the 72-hour preparation announcement, reports suggest that Russia might initiate a war to capture European countries. Right before our eyes, Ezekiel 38 and 39 are being fulfilled. Since 2004, we have been preaching about these events using biblical references and prophecies, and now they are happening exactly as foretold. As God said, all prophecies are coming to pass with accuracy right in front of our eyes. I encourage you to read Ezekiel 38 and 39. If you need further clarity, you can look up references and explanations online to understand the identities of Tubal, Togarma, and Meshech. These will give you a deeper insight into the unfolding events. As God foretold, we are now living in that prophetic timeline. Finally, I conclude this episode with one important news update. This is yet another one of the signs that Jesus revealed. So far, we have discussed wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes, and now we turn our focus to famines. One of the primary causes of famine is economic collapse, and in just the last week, major global companies have faced severe financial losses. LVMH, the renowned French luxury brand, has lost nearly 50 billion US dollars in recent days, especially since Trump's re-entry into politics. And then Facebook has suffered losses of 5 billion US dollars. Alphabet has lost 22 billion US dollars. Amazon has taken a major hit, losing 29 billion US dollars. But the biggest blow came to Tesla Motors and Elon Musk, who has lost a staggering 148 billion US dollars. When you add all of these losses together, in just the past 3 months, the global economy has seen a decline of nearly 200 billion US dollars. Economists are now warning that America is heading into a recession. One report estimates that 30 to 35% of the US economy will enter recession within the next 6 months. Another report from CNBC suggests that this number could be as high as 60%. There is an old saying, when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. This means that if America struggles, the entire world will feel the impact because the US remains at the center of global economy. So if America falls into a 35 to 60% recession, the entire world will suffer. A similar economic collapse happened in England before World War II, and that downfall paved the way for the war. Now, America, the current superpower, is beginning to fall, and this could very well be the starting point of World War III. On one side, we see famines, on another, wars and rumors of wars, and at the same time, earthquakes are increasing worldwide. All of this confirms one truth: the prophecies of Jesus regarding the rapture are happening with absolute accuracy. These events reveal one thing: Jesus is coming soon, and we cannot stop these signs from happening. Can we stop earthquakes? Can we save the economy? Can we prevent wars? The Bible clearly tells us, but when these things begin to take place, straighten up and lift your heads because your redemption is drawing near. God is coming very soon. There is a high possibility that our generation will witness the second coming. We do not know the exact day or hour, but everything happening around us confirms that time is near. So let's get ready and prepare a generation of people for Christ's return. If the Lord's coming delays, we will meet again in another episode. God bless you all.